Daily vlog, day 13.
I'm very excited.
I love to cook. I'm not a trained chef, but I've been puttering around the kitchen for over 30 years. And yesterday, I made something I had a lot of fun making. So I present it to you, gentle viewer, the labor of my love. Don't take it too seriously. Well, the recipe takes seriously, but nothing else. Welcome. Today we're going to be making some amazing meatballs, some killer tomato gravy. Yes, I called it gravy. I'm from South Philly. Don't call it sauce.
Call it sauce and I'll cut you.
So the first thing we're going to do is make the meatballs. Now, I'd normally use pterodactyl meat, but because of the embargoes, you got to get creative. So I've got here some ground beef, some Italian sausage, mild, out of the casing. We're also going to use a generous amount of garlic, some fresh oregano, some breadcrumbs, and a couple of eggs just to bind everything together. Now the first thing we're going to do is chop this garlic. That's okay. I don't like traitors in my midst anyway. We got our little junk bowl here, inspired by Rachel Ray.
But I ain't shoving out the money to buy her branded junk bowl. No.
And we just roughly chop up the garlic. Like so. We'll slide that to the side. Now we'll take some of our oregano. Chop, 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 chop. Oh! Oh! Nah, I'm just kidding. See, it's okay. And now, the fun part. We take about a pound of sausage, a pound of ground beef, a generous handful of breadcrumbs, another generous handful of breadcrumbs, 2 eggs, whoop, or 1/12 of an ostrich egg. And then, we take that oregano, we take our garlic, and we mix. Ooh. I like the big chunks of garlic in there, and don't worry, as they cook, they'll get all soft and gooey, and then there'll be little pockets of garlicky goodness. We don't want to overmix it because nobody likes tough meatballs. The last thing we add is Parmesan cheese. How much? Just a little bit. And now we don't want to blend that in. What we want to do is, as we form the meatballs, just kind of roll them in the cheese. And you want them to be about the size of a golf ball.
Just like that.
What I have here is a baking sheet with a rack in it. Yeah, we're baking these puppies first. Boop. So you put your golf ball meatballs down right on the rack. Boop. The reason I like the cheese on the outside is because it gives it just a little bit of a cheesy crust to it. Not much, but I think it's noticeable. Boop. Boop. I don't like my meatballs too dense. I like them nice and light and fluffy. Boop. These giant chunks of garlic just stabbing me in the hands. You'll also notice I didn't add any salt or pepper. The seasonings in the Italian sausage are enough to carry it, plus the oregano and the garlic add their own kind of kick. And the parm is salty enough. Boop. 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 And there we go. Now you want to put your meatballs in the oven about 400 degrees. You want to keep them in there for 20 minutes or so, just enough to brown the outsides. You don't need to cook them all the way through in the oven because you're going to put them in the gravy, and then they're going to just all the fat into the gravy, and that is going to make it even awesomer. More awesome?
It's gonna awesomeize the gravy.
For our gravy, we start with the gas on. Some extra virgin olive oil.
Some garlic and onions.
Give it a stir. Lower that gas. Holy cow! You just want to sweat these. You don't want to kill them.
To this we add tomato paste.
Stir that around.
We add a cup of wine. Now, normally, the wine I like to use costs about $1,000 a bottle. Because you really do get the best flavor. Now we stir this around and let it reduce. Burn off all that naughty alcohol and leave only the yummy flavor.
Next, we add some freshly diced tomatoes. Tomatoes right off the vine. None of that canned tomato crap.
That stuff just doesn't cut it.
And you want to add more tomatoes. About 7 in all. Or 8. Or 10. 12. What am I, your mother? I don't give a...
You want to add oregano. Fresh oregano. None of that canned crap. You might as well spit in it. Molto basil.
Now, that may seem like a lot of basil. But it's my recipe, not yours, so shut up.
Hey, here's my secret ingredient. Chili pepper paste. Shh.
Not a lot. Or your wife yells at you. Now we add a little bit of salt. I don't use just any salt. This is Valhallan salt. It is made from the tears of unicorns. The residual desperation adds a dimension of flavor that you just can't get from regular salt. And now I add a bit of pepper. Pepper. It's ground from the charred bones of my enemies. And now you just let it sit and simmer. I like to let this simmer for about an hour. And then in about 10-15 minutes, we'll add in those meatballs so all those flavors can blah, blah, blah together.
The meatballs have returned. Now let's put them in the gravy.
Give them a nice little bath.
Oh no, there's all this fat in the pan. What are we gonna do?
Dump it in.
This has been daily vlog number 13. 352 to go. I'll see you tomorrow.